Hello everyone, welcome to our Bible story time. Today we will learn about Habakkuk, a prophet who had many questions for God. When he saw trouble and unfair things happening around him, he felt confused. This book reminds us that God welcomes our honest questions and listens when we pray. Habakkuk learned an important lesson. We can always talk to God about our worries and problems. Even when life feels difficult and we do not understand what is happening, God is still with us. Choosing to trust Him brings peace and joy to our hearts each day. Habakkuk lived a long time ago and served as God's prophet. He looked around and saw people being unkind and doing wrong things. This made him sad and troubled. Like Habakkuk, we may notice problems around us, but we can bring our feelings and questions to God. Habakkuk asked God why there was so much trouble and unfairness. He wondered why people were breaking the rules and hurting others. Sometimes we ask similar questions when bad things happen. This page teaches us that God is not afraid of our questions and wants us to talk with Him. God answered Habakkuk in a surprising way. He told him that He was already working, even though Habakkuk could not see the whole plan. God would deal with evil in His own time. This reminds us that God is always at work, even when we do not understand everything. When Habakkuk heard God's answer, he became even more confused. He wondered why God would use another nation to bring judgment. Life can sometimes seem unfair to us as well. Yet this page teaches us that God's wisdom is greater than ours, and His plans are always right. Instead of giving up, Habakkuk chose to wait for God. He watched, listened, and carefully paid attention to what God would say. Waiting can be hard, especially when we want answers quickly. But patient trust helps us grow stronger and teaches us to depend on God. God gave Habakkuk a wonderful promise. He said that his message would come true at the right time. The person who trusts God and remains faithful will live by faith. Even when we cannot see the future, we can keep believing that God keeps His promises. God reminded His people that wrongdoing would not last forever. Stealing, lying, and worshipping idols were not pleasing to Him. God is holy and just, and He sees everything people do. This encourages us to choose what is right and honor God with our actions. As Habakkuk thought about God's power and faithfulness, his heart began to change. He remembered how God had helped His people before. Instead of focusing only on problems, he focused on God. When we remember God's goodness, our fears become smaller and our faith grows stronger. Habakkuk imagined difficult times ahead, when crops failed and farms were empty. Even then, he decided not to lose hope. True joy does not come from having everything we want. It comes from knowing that God is with us and will never leave us alone. Habakkuk made a brave choice. He chose joy because his trust was in God, not in his circumstances. Sometimes things around us change, but God's love remains the same. We can choose thankful hearts and remember that God cares for us every day. At the beginning, Habakkuk was worried and full of questions. By the end, he had become strong in faith and courage. He stopped looking only at the troubles around him and started looking to God. Trusting God can change our hearts in the same way. Habakkuk discovered that God gives strength to those who trust Him. Like a sure-footed deer standing on a mountain, God helps His people stay steady during hard times. When challenges come, we do not need to face them alone because God gives us courage and help. Habakkuk teaches us to speak honestly to God, wait patiently for His answers, and trust Him through every situation. The most important message of this book is that faithful people live by trusting God. As we face challenges in life, may we choose faith, joy, and confidence in Him. Thank you for watching. God bless you. See you next time. Goodbye.